Hi, good morning. So this morning I read a devotion from this amazing book called Wonderfully Made, written by Allie Marie Smith. And she talks about being made to create. And this is something that I don't think I've ever thought about because I do not consider myself creative at all. My mind goes back to my childhood when my mom used to do these drawing classes with us. She bought some kind of book about teaching your kids how to do art in a simple way. My sister was a genius with art. Like, she was an amazing artist. She still is. And I just am the worst. Like, I can't even draw a stick person. And so I think my mom wanted to try and help me see that I could be creative and an artist as well. And so she would do these drawing classes with us. And I just remember being frustrated and angry every single time we did it, because every single time we did it, I compared myself to my sister and my art never looked like it was supposed to. And every time, even though I think she meant well, I feel like I just felt worse and worse about myself. So when I think of art, I think of those kind of painful memories. I think of the fact that I'm just not creative in an artistic type way. I am more crafty. I love to do wreaths. I learned how to do stained glass. I haven't done that in years, but I was okay at it. I love to use my Cricut to make shirts and stickers and things like that. But I don't have the creativity to start with nothing and make it into something with pencils or paint or that classic kind of artist type thing. And so creativity wasn't ever really anything that I felt was a gift from God for me. It was something else for somebody else. But this author this morning in this devotion says that because we are created in the image of God, we are also created to bring beauty and goodness into existence. We're co-creators with God. We're called to create beautiful things and be creative to share his love. And she goes on to explain that more, but one of the sentences that really stood out to me is how we start our lives with crayons in our hand. When we're kids, and as parents, when you have little kids, what are you giving them? You're giving them paper and crayons and paint, and you're letting them be creative and explore. But then all of a sudden, that goes away and you have a device in your hand. So you kind of trade that creativity for nowadays a phone or a device. And I think about that with my own daughter. She is super creative, but now that she has a phone, she very rarely takes the time to put it down and create. Sometimes she gets the whim to do it, but not as much as she used to. We become our creative nature, that desire to create in us, is overshadowed by consumerism. She also talks about how we try to satisfy that creative part of our soul with purchases. The Amazon constant orders of things showing up on your front porch, and how we think that that's going to fulfill something for us. And I connect so much with that, because I know sometimes my husband and my daughter laugh at me because I walk around the house when I'm bored and I say, I need a project. I need to change a room around. I need to reorganize something. And I think that that is what this whole devotion is about that desire that God builds in you to create something. And she goes on to say that it's not just arts and crafts. It can be creating space for people who need it. It could be creating a business that does something for the community, or a nonprofit, I guess would be more better way of saying it than a business. But she talks about how creating good for the world is something that's innate in us. She says, when we co-create with God by bringing forth things of value into the world, we are living a life of contribution. A life of contribution is an outward focused life. It creates more than it takes. A life of overconsumption takes more than it gives. I believe we have been hardwired by God to contribute more than to consume. That's a really powerful statement, and it should make all of us really stop and think about our consumption of things to satisfy a need that's probably more to contribute. It's better to give than receive kind of message. And that just pulls at my heartstrings like crazy. I don't have to be creative as in an artistic way, painting and drawing, but I can create by writing. That's something that I've done and I should keep doing that I've stopped. So writing, I can create messages, videos like this one to share with the world to help bring positive change and thought about our lives. I can create space and time for women to gather. That's another thing that I just feel so compelled to do. And I've started it in a very small way with a couple of friends, but how do I expand that? And then what do you create? What is God inviting you to do in your life? To create and to better the world around us in a beautiful way. She has talked about a friend who created an organization to fight sex trafficking. She's talked about a friend who's a photographer. She says that we can design art, music, we can create in families, relationships, poetry, crafts, charitable organizations and businesses, anything that improves the lives of others or makes the world just a little bit better. So pray on that. That's what I'm going to start doing, is praying on that. What does that look like in my life? What one tiny step or what one tiny decision can I make right now that's going to better the people around me, even just my family? And I really feel that desperate need to calm that consumerism need that I have. I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it. And yet I find myself shopping online every time I'm bored or scrolling through Facebook and comparing, or just vegging out and being distracted. And that is not what I know God is calling me to do. So I put that challenge out to you as well. What is God calling you to do to make the world a better place, to change your life from being a consumer to sharing something instead? I'd love to hear more, so give me some comments. Thanks and have a blessed day.